Hello, video request. So, this one is from Air Handler, and he goes, can you do a video on the differences between high school and college? And did you feel like college was as time consuming and exhausting as high school? Also, do you feel people acted differently socially in high school and college? And do you feel like girls are easier to meet in high school or college? Okay, so can you do a video on the differences between high school and college, like socially and stuff? Okay, so and what else did you want to know? Do you feel like college was as time consuming and as exhausting as high school? Okay. um, okay. No, high school was more time consuming. I had more homework in high school than college. I remember couple of classes in college. I had a lot of homework. There's this one guy, history of Central America. Michael Fry was his name, and he had us do so much homework. Oh my God, I got a C in that class, but I totally deserved it, man, because I didn't do all the homework. Like, it was too much. But other than that, I can't really think of anything else. People just, you could get away with not doing much. Okay, so socially. Yeah. There's kind of a difference. In high school, people kind of gravitate towards being acting and being like who they think that they are, who they're supposed to be like, and then when they get into college, they kind of realize who they really are, and they change. So it's like in high school, people are kind of more fake, and they're more like hipster, kind of like in the current mode of things. Whether it's you're all supposed to be like a granola hippie, or in the school that's cool to be like um, dressed like with corduroy slacks and wearing baseball cap backwards, stuff like this, and hanging out even with certain kinds of people, like you're hanging out with like the stoners, and then you go to college, and then you realize that you're out of the stoner stage, and then you just want to be chill, and you stop hanging out with all the partiers. And like, I knew one kid in high school who was like the partier kid, and then in college he didn't like his roommate because he was like a nerdy dude who wasn't like a stoner, but then he realized that was the perfect roommate for him, and he was his roommate the next year because he just wanted to quit weed and just become straight laced, and so they just change. um, um, and Yeah, so like people will hang out with each other in college that would not be hanging each other in high school, like, because there's a lot more social stigma of. Now let me just talk about how I was in high school, just in case anybody's wondering. I didn't really participate that much in high school. I went to a normal high school, 1,800 kids spread out over 3 years, but I didn't participate in high school, So like when it was all done, I went home. So I wasn't part of a clique or anything. I would like know people here and there. I'd like there was like one or two people who I would like hang out at with lunch and stuff, but I didn't really participate. So, I noticed stuff. I looked around, and I saw what was going on. I didn't go to parties either. So, but my brother was really plugged in, and I saw how he acted, and my brother was a dick in high school, dude. Like, he was all like this. He's a Leo, and he was all like looking around his shoulder, worried about what people thought about him. Like, if I did something weird, that would embarrass him. I remember once I walked from one class to another, and I had all my buttons unbuttoned except for the bottom button. And he was all pissed off at me because he said one of his friends saw me walking through the hallway with my like shirt undone, and like that was weird. And once I was at a party, and I went up to him, and he was hanging out with some of his friends, and I was just standing there because they're smoking a bowl, and they all like looked at me like I was weird, and they stopped talking, and they all stared at me, and so I like walked away. And then the next day, my brother was like, "You fucking weirdo! What the fuck you doing? Just walking up on us like that? Trying to smoke our weed or something?" And I was like, "What?" It was because I wasn't part of the clique. I wasn't part of the group. You know what I mean? So, anyway, they don't do that kind of shit in high school. Oh, and also, I mean, in college, also in high school, and I didn't experience this myself, but I heard about it happening. Like, my brother said somebody tried it with him and then made friends with him later. But kids get all aggressive with each other. Like, they try to, like, like at party, like there'll be some like aggressive kid at the high school who like wants to like intimidate somebody, like make them think they're gonna fight him or something, and they don't. You're not gonna see so much of that in college. Um, I never saw that. I saw fights in college. I saw one fight in college. It was a party fight as I was riding my bicycle past from like school or something. A bunch of dudes beating up on one guy. And then in high school, I saw a fight after school, but it was like one of those arranged fights where everybody meets because there were like 30 people standing around watching. But but that's all I saw. Anyway, so what was I talking about? I'm kind of high. I had a bunch of bong hits, so I'm kind of bouncing all over the place. But yeah, have a lot more social skills in college than they do in high school. In high school, people do shit that, and everybody has done stuff like this, and people do this stuff in college too. You really only mature, I think, mainly after college, but you're a lot more mature in college. I think generally a lot more mature in college than high school. I was about the same. I was probably I did a lot of stupider things in college than in high school, but yeah, I wasn't kind of the same as far as maturity in high school and college. But most people are a lot more mature in college than they are in high school. Like in high school, they'll do crazy shit, and I did stupid shit in high school too. Like I remember I had a friend who I was undoing the, undid the quick release on his mountain bike a couple times, and that was like dangerous. Like what the fuck am I thinking? Stupid. You got all pissed off me. But I deserved it. But that kind of stuff. But no, people do like cruel things in high school. Now the question you could have asked is what's the difference between high school, junior high, and college? Because I saw that there was just as much of a difference between junior high and high school as there was between high school and college. Like in junior high, the cliques are really, really small. They're like 4 or 5, where the kids hang out with the same kids all the time. And in high school, those cliques grow a little bit bigger, and sometimes they change. Like you'll hang out with people in high school who you used to hang out with in junior high, but you don't anymore. Um, but people are more laid back and talk to each other more in high school than in college. I mean, in high school than in junior high, and then more in college than junior high. So, than in high school. Okay, so do you feel people acted differently? Okay, and also, do you feel like girls are easier to meet in high school or college? I think girls are easier to meet in high school because it's more tight knit. For example, on my senior year of high school, I joined the cross country team, and there were girls on the cross country team, and they were there in your face. You do all the running and the stuff with you, and you go to the same school, and you see them all the time, and then they have the parties. In college, it's less organized. It's less like structured, and so you're kind of more on your own if you're going to meet people. But there's different like clubs and stuff that you can join in college, which would provide a social outlet. I didn't participate in anything in college either. My very last semester in college, I was on the bike team for like the first couple of months, but that was about it. And that wasn't very tight knit at all. Like they never had any like personal parties or anything. They weren't friends with each other. In fact, it seemed like there was a lot of animosity and cattiness within. So yeah, I can't really speak to a lot of that stuff like personally. In college, you tend to gravitate, and this is the main trend. This is what what I should have been getting at the very beginning. From junior high to high school and high school to college, the talent pool gets bigger. You're in a bigger world. The school's bigger. My high school was 1,800 people. My junior high was like, I don't even know, it was like 500. My my high school was 1,800 people. My college was 4,000 people. And you're more independent in yourself. So you start to gravitate towards people who are more similar to you rather than people who you've known the longest. In high school, you'll hang out with people just because, and they'll be your best friends just because you've known them the longest. But in college, it's more like you'll hang out with people you'll even discard friends you had before. You'll hang out with people who you're similar to. And that even gets even more like that after college, and so that's why a lot of times people say that like the oldest friends that they have are the weirdest, because they're the least similar to them, because they're people who they normally wouldn't be friends with, but they are because they were, you know, they were classmates with them in third grade and they've known them forever. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, you know, your brother. You know, you keep in touch and you hang out with your brother, but even though a lot of cases you don't even like your brother, you know, that kind of a thing. You're more likely to have friends that you're going to keep in touch with from college, because they're going to be more similar to you and they're going to have more. Plus, the relationship that you have is going to be more developed. You're going to be more mature, so you're going to have more of a real relationship rather than just kind of a childish hanging out just to hang out with each other type of relationship. Um, and so, do I feel like college was as time consuming and as exhausting as high school? What are you talking about? Like, is there as much homework in college? Are you thinking about going to college? If you're thinking about going to college, not going to college because it's too much work, then don't go to college. Um, or go to college if you can use the degree for something, but time consuming and exhausting, like the homework. Um, it depends on what college you go to. Um, but I think, you know, if you want to, you can get away with not doing that much homework in college, I think, and still pass. Um, or it could happen with you what happened with me, bust your ass and do the best paper that was ever done and get kicked out of the whole school because of it and never get your degree. But that's another story. So, okay, yeah, I think I've talked enough about that. Okay, peace out.